Oh, yeah, I'm an individual, and my name is Kyle.
There may be some kind of divestiture type of situation like we saw with AT&T. There may be some way of breaking up Google to divest certain business
Liquidate.
users. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, you do not know. You do not want to know what I think about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Like, most of it is not something that can be on air, but I am so tired of these companies and the kid gloves that we handle them with. We sit around and we treat them like they've just begun and there's some sort. We have no idea and they have no track record. Let's be plain about this. Google is evil. That is the wording of Google is a monopolist. That was the judge's determination. And I know it is unlikely, as Alex put so succinctly. It's unlikely, but boy, I hope, and it's a good thing I am not a part of making whatever restitution this is. But I absolutely hope that this is the most harsh, scathing kind of punishment, or like you suggested, even some kind of breaking up of search and these businesses that they've absorbed and acquired over time and keep telling us that are a part of their core business model. It's so disgusting how wealthy and the largesse that they've used in our lobbying system, and how they've had politicians just basically giving them free range, blank checks to do whatever they want in the name of profit. And then those same politicians come back wringing their hands about how, oh, the children, and gosh, privacy, and gee, consumers. Well, you were the ones that were able to make the decision. Stop telling us that you're so darn concerned. You're not. You're bending to the will of gigantic moneyed interests who are not. Would we miss Google? If Google was gone, would we miss it? There are, in spite of their monopolistic activities, a plethora of alternatives. And I'm sorry I'm getting so upset about this, but I swear to you, we would not miss them if they were liquidated to dust tomorrow. Is that clear?
Well, also, while it was going on, this was a case that has been ongoing for quite some time. It wasn't exactly front and center of the national conversation because it was just another step in a really long process that had been going on for ages.
Hey guys, that everyone, pals, that is the problem. That all of this stuff is slow walk, dragged out, stretched and dilated, appealed and papered over with good intentions and legal, charge of billable hours, all of that. And that's all we ever really get. And then we'll get some paltry, token action that does not actually affect anything. And I swear, they'll, without those remedies that, in fact, Alex outlined, I think those are fantastic examples. The compartmentalizing, the separation of those businesses that are unlike one another, those will be met with these, these claims of well, we're so important that, no one will be able to learn, or the military won't be able to know maps or something. I don't know. They'll make themselves so vital to every inch of everything that it'll be hard so that they're just basically banking on sympathy, and at the same time making all their lifeline calls here in California and wherever else they have a sympathetic ear in politics. That their golden goose or whatever, their signature business of Silicon Valley isn't what they say it is. It's not as good, and it is in fact much more running afoul of the people they claim to serve in the name of their own profits. And I think what we're seeing is what is it happening with others of these technology companies, these startups, these things that are moving very quickly. Yeah, this took 20 years, 30 years, I don't know, since the Stanford twins or Stanford guys built their little rack. How much different is their business? They've come, they've gone, they built their mansions, whatever, had their families, all that. They don't care about whatever this is. It's not their little baby anymore. It is this hydra they have zero control over. It's a board and a whole lot of shareholders, and all they want is money. They don't care about any of us. They don't care about the product. They don't even care about the employees. They'll just keep turning over new engineers with their bright eyes and bushy tails coming in to do the same dumb work for an even worse product, on into the future. And we'll keep trying to hold them to account as they develop more and more of these like pervasive and invasive models and algorithms and quote products that we all can't live without. I mean, even I think some of the speculation, I think there's an Ars Technica article about this talking about Applebot and how Apple may, in fact, like a lot of this may have been trying to keep Apple from going into the search sector. But and in fact, now with a lot of the large language models, they're trying to create products out of those that access search engines or access the vast amounts of knowledge or data that have been collected and made readable, machine readable over the years, right? So like Apple itself could just turn on some product that they built with proprietary models and algorithms that are using search-like features, but are a much more personable Siri, and that is trained on your voice and very custom. But that probably is why, those kinds of products didn't see the light because Apple is kind of getting paid off. So it was kind of stifling innovation, and I think those are some of the ironies, right? Like that a lot of the dumping of permission and just allowing them to grow and grow and grow and do whatever the heck they want was because, we don't want to stifle innovation. Well, their very existence has from one of the other enormous players in technology.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, are we going to be on YouTube tonight? I think we should probably make some kind of announcement about whether we're doing overtime.
We are not doing overtime tonight due to all of us being scattered around to the four winds more than usual. So, yes.
Oh, come on, Rob. Tell them the truth. We're afraid of YouTube. We're afraid of Google, what they're going to do to us after we lambaste them like this over the airwaves. Unlike the Bell breakup, Google is something that isn't tied down to a physical location. So if it becomes unpalatable for Google to maintain its monopolistic desires as a U.S.-based firm, could it not simply move its operations to someplace that's more receptive to that and still exist online, still do the same things, just be in a different place?
Honestly, they've already done it with the money. Like it's like Google Ireland. I mean, that's where all the money is anyway. They don't really care where the headquarters are. Like they've handled their extra territorial structures for where it counts, e.g. the bank. But their headquarters, I agree. I think they're going to want to just loiter in this country and skate as best they can through those legal means you described, diluting and recharacterizing and just dragging it out as long as they can. And I just hope we have really sober minds on this collectively. And as upset as I sound, I really do think the point of all of this is they ought not to be too big to not care, or to care. We were literally saying that these companies are too big to care about any of us. And that was a common understanding of their largesse. And I think that, maybe we should appeal to people's sense of, wanting to do business with private entities and look at companies that get this big. And what other large entity loves big, top-down command structures? Kind of sounds a lot like the government to me. And it's super funny how the shareholders and the practices of this kind of winner-take-all economic structure that lauds everybody and builds them all up in the markets and everything, it makes them these really big companies that are really perfect for the government to be involved with. Like if they had to accidentally take over, or if they just needed a whole bunch of stuff and needed to give a bunch of warrants to one entity, it's one-stop shopping for them. So anyway, my point is it's in our interest they not become too big to care about our rights or our privacy, or that their business models are predatory even though they make money. Just that they make money is not the rubric we should be measuring the success of these firms. And I don't know, it just we're using the wrong measurement, and I think that is a moral thing, or a something that we need to be guided by that is outside of the economic structure, because that is going to win. It's already set up to win, right, for them, fines or not. Whatever we levy at them, however they're punished, quote, punished, or whatever damages are sought or paid out, it isn't necessarily the way to the only way to seek this out. We need to have a much better attitude about our expectations of these firms, like how big they will become, or what they will be when they get that big, like, or what fail safes, what switches will we have to, like, not succumb to having to fight them in, like, to eternity, or like beg Europe to bring them to their knees because we can, because our politicians are bought. Like, that's sad that we have to go around the world basically searching, pun intended, for jurisdictions that have a backbone. Like, we should be able to muster that here in California, in our country. And anyway, I'll leave it at that.
No doubt. You're absolutely right about that, and thank you all for that. With that, I'll take the last minute or so here and give everybody an update on for our latest tragedies. Right, was the Virgil Griffith case. As we know, a couple of weeks ago, we had won a motion to have Virgil resentenced. We took and that resulted in about a little more than 10% of his sentence coming off, which is a wonderful thing. We are right now in the process of waiting to see when he will be released. His order came into effect on August 2nd. His release date has been moved up by 5 or 6 months now. It's unclear how they perform those types of calculations within the Bureau of Prisons, but what we're waiting for now, since Virgil is within a year of his actual release date, and that seems to be all that matters, he's eligible to go to a halfway house. And we can find out any day, we could find out in the next 5 minutes that the Bureau of Prisons has found him a spot, and he can finally be released from the Federal Correctional Institution in Milan, Michigan, and go into a halfway house. So it's likely that he will go to a halfway house in Baltimore, because that will be near his family, and it's where he has a few different job offers as well. So keep your fingers crossed that the BOP does its work and the bureaucrats cross their T's and dot their I's and get the paperwork moving, because Virgil could be coming home to us next week, could be a couple of months, but we hope in our heart of hearts that it's sooner rather than later. It'd be good to have him back.